Welcome to our channel. Today, we pause to remember a life that touched hearts and left a lasting impact. We'll explore their journey, the challenges they faced, and the moments that made them unforgettable. Join us as we honor their story, celebrate their legacy, and reflect on the memories that will continue to inspire and live on in the hearts of those who knew them. Tragic news was confirmed this week as the theater community quietly said goodbye to Sondra Lee. The lights of Broadway feel a little softer now. For decades, she stood beneath them with grace and steady confidence. Her passing marks the end of a chapter that helped define a golden era of American musical theater. Sondra Lee was never the loudest presence on stage. She did not need to be. Her strength came from discipline, timing, and a deep respect for her craft. Audiences felt it in every step she took and every note she sang. She first captured hearts in the original Broadway production of Peter Pan. It was a time when live theater carried a special kind of magic. Night after night, she helped bring that magic to life. The stage was not just a platform for her. It was home. Years later, she would appear in another beloved classic, Hello, Dolly. Surrounded by bright costumes and sweeping melodies, she once again proved her quiet brilliance. While others chased applause, she focused on truth in performance. Her work was thoughtful, measured, honest. Colleagues often spoke about her steady presence backstage. One fellow performer shared, "Sondra had a calm that settled everyone around her. When she walked on stage, you knew the show was in safe hands." It was not just talent that defined her. It was reliability and heart. Her love for theater did not end with her own performances. As the years passed, she turned her energy toward teaching. She believed that art should be passed down, carefully and respectfully. In classrooms and rehearsal halls, she shaped young artists with patience and firm guidance. A former student once said, "She didn't just teach us how to sing or act. She taught us how to stand tall and respect the stage." Those lessons stayed with many long after opening night curtains closed. Through her students, her voice continued to echo in theaters across the country. Beyond the spotlight, Sondra Lee lived with quiet dignity. She valued preparation. She valued teamwork. And above all, she valued the audience. Friends say she often reminded young performers, "The stage is a gift. Treat it with care." That belief guided her entire life. As news of her passing spread, tributes began to appear from across the theater world. One Broadway director wrote, "We have lost a true guardian of our traditions." Another admirer shared online, "Her performances felt like a warm light in a dark room." These words reflect the deep respect she earned over time. Her career stretched across decades of change in American entertainment. Trends came and went. Styles evolved. But Sondra Lee remained constant. She stood for a standard of excellence that never faded. The story of Broadway cannot be told without voices like hers. She belonged to a generation that built modern musical theater with patience and pride. Every rehearsal, every matinee, every standing ovation became part of a larger legacy. Today, the curtains close on her remarkable journey. Yet the glow she created does not disappear. It lives in the music still sung on stage. It lives in the performers she mentored. It lives in the memories of audiences who once watched her under bright theater lights. Though a radiant chapter has ended, her influence remains woven into the fabric of American musical history. Sondra Lee's light did not dim with her passing. It continues to shine in every careful step taken by those who follow in her path. And as Broadway moves forward, it carries her spirit with it, steady, graceful, and forever devoted to the magic of live theater. Tragic news was confirmed as the television world said goodbye to Ann Chapin, the little girl millions once knew as Kitten. With her passing, a gentle light from television's earliest golden years quietly fades. For many Americans, her face was not just familiar. It felt like family. In the 1950s, living rooms across the country would grow still when Father Knows Best came on the screen. And there she was, Kathy Anderson. Bright-eyed. Curious. Full of warmth. Ann Chapin did not simply play a role. She became the heartbeat of the Anderson household. At a time when America was rebuilding after war, families longed for comfort. They longed for hope. Through a small black and white screen, she offered both. Her laughter felt real. Her tears felt real. Viewers saw their daughters, their sisters, even themselves in her gentle spirit. One longtime fan wrote this week, "She reminded us of who we were back then, innocent and hopeful." That feeling was not by accident. Lauren carried a natural grace in front of the camera. She understood emotion at an age when most children are still learning how to name their feelings. Behind the scenes, however, growing up in the spotlight was not always easy. While America saw a cheerful child star, Lauren was navigating pressures far beyond her years. Fame can be heavy, especially for someone so young. The bright studio lights sometimes cast long shadows. Still, her performance never lost its sincerity. Week after week, she delivered moments that made audiences smile through their tears. Her character asked honest questions about life, about right and wrong, about growing up. And in many ways, she was growing up right alongside the nation. Co-stars often spoke of her professionalism. One former cast member once shared, "Lauren had a maturity that surprised all of us. She knew her lines, but more importantly, she knew her heart. That heart is what made her unforgettable." As the years passed and the show ended, America changed. Television changed. The simple family stories of the 1950s slowly gave way to new voices and new struggles. Yet for those who remembered, Kathy Anderson never truly left. Ann Chapin would later speak openly about the challenges she faced after childhood fame. Her life was not without hardship. But even in difficult seasons, she showed resilience. She rebuilt. She reflected. She found faith and purpose beyond the applause. In interviews, she often looked back with gratitude. She understood that she had been part of something rare. A cultural moment when television felt like a shared family gathering. When stories were gentle and endings felt safe. As news of her passing spread, tributes poured in from viewers who had grown up watching her. One message read, "She was my childhood. Every Sunday night felt warmer because of her." Another simply said, "Good night, Kitten. Thank you for the memories." These words carry the weight of generations. Her legacy is more than a role on a television series. It is the memory of a time when families sat together, when lessons were simple, and when innocence felt possible. She helped define what early American television could be: comforting, hopeful, and kind. Today, as we look back at those black and white episodes, we do more than remember a show. We remember a feeling. A softness. A belief in the goodness of family life. And at the center of it all was a little girl with bright eyes and a sincere smile. Ann Chapin grew up. America grew up. But the warmth she gave to millions remains untouched by time. Though a chapter of television's golden age has gently closed, her spirit lives on in reruns, in memories, and in the quiet echo of simpler days. And somewhere, in the hearts of those who watched her, Kitten still smiles, forever young, forever cherished. Tragic news was confirmed today as Hollywood quietly said farewell to Robert Carradine, an actor who spent more than 5 decades carving out his own place in an industry shaped by legacy. Born into the legendary Carradine family, his path seemed written from the start. And yet, he chose to walk it in his own quiet way. The Carradine name carried weight. His father, John Carradine, was already a respected figure of stage and screen. His brothers built careers that drew attention and praise. For many, expectations would have felt overwhelming. But Robert did not chase the spotlight. He moved steadily, thoughtfully, allowing his work to speak for him. Early in his career, he appeared in films that showed his range and natural presence. In The Last Picture Show, he delivered a small but meaningful role in a story about youth and fading dreams. Even then, there was something different about him. He did not project loud heroism. He portrayed real people, flawed, uncertain, searching. It was in 1984 that his name became forever linked with an unlikely cultural moment. In Revenge of the Nerds, Robert Carradine stepped into the role of Louis Skolnick. With thick glasses, nervous energy, and quiet determination, he gave voice to those who often stood on the sidelines. The character was awkward, vulnerable, but also brave. Louis was not the typical leading man of the time. He did not fit the mold of strength and swagger. Instead, he represented intelligence, loyalty, and self-acceptance. Audiences connected with that. Many saw themselves in him. An entire generation found comfort in the idea that being different was not something to hide. One fan wrote this week, "He made us feel like it was okay to be ourselves." That simple message became the heart of his most famous role. Beneath the comedy, there was a deeper truth about belonging and courage. Though the film became a cult classic, Robert did not allow himself to be defined by one character alone. He continued working steadily in television and film, choosing roles that interested him rather than chasing trends. Over the years, he appeared in dramas, westerns, and family stories. His performances were often understated, but always sincere. Colleagues often described him as grounded. One longtime collaborator shared, "Robert never acted like he had something to prove. He just showed up and did the work." That quiet discipline earned him respect across generations of filmmakers. Life in Hollywood is rarely simple, especially for someone born into a famous family. There are comparisons. There are expectations. But Robert Carradine seemed to accept both without bitterness. He honored his family's legacy while building his own identity. In interviews, he once reflected on the idea of fame. He suggested that lasting success was not about applause, but about longevity. In that sense, his career stands as proof. For more than 50 years, he remained present in the industry he loved. As news of his passing spread, tributes came from fans and fellow actors alike. One director wrote, "He brought heart to every role, even when the script didn't ask for it." Another admirer shared online, "Louis Skolnick gave courage to every underdog in the room." These words reveal the lasting impact of his work. Beyond the screen, he was described as thoughtful and reflective. He valued family. He valued storytelling. And above all, he valued authenticity. In a business often built on image, he seemed comfortable simply being himself. His story reminds us that not every hero arrives with noise and celebration. Some arrive quietly. Some wear thick glasses and carry books instead of bravado. And sometimes, those are the heroes who stay with us the longest. Robert Carradine's life reflects steady resilience. He navigated a demanding industry while remaining true to his craft. He carried a famous name, but he shaped it in his own image. Today, as the cameras dim and the tributes continue, Hollywood feels a little more reflective. A familiar face is gone. Yet the characters he gave us remain, especially the young man who taught audiences that intelligence and kindness could stand tall against any crowd. Though a chapter has closed, his legacy endures in film reels, in late-night reruns, and in the hearts of those who once cheered for the underdog. Robert Carradine may have been a reluctant hero, but in the story of American cinema, his place is certain, steady, sincere, and forever remembered.